Hey guys, so today we're going to review the new Colourpop Cosmetics Wild Nothing collection. Now I know they've released like 2 other collections since then, but like it takes 3 weeks to get shipping in Australia, okay? So we're going to review their new collection, Still To Me. Now I do have quite a few pieces of that collection to review for you guys today. So if that sounds interesting, then make sure you keep on watching. But before we get started, please make sure you hit that subscription button and that notification bell so that you and I can be friends. And also make sure you come and follow me on Instagram. I post lots of videos and photos and reels, and I would love it if you joined me there. Now, let's get into this collection. Now the products that we are going to review today is the Wild Nothing eyeshadow palette, as well as one of the blushes. I have one of the matte cream eyeshadows, and I also have 2 of the lip oils. I have my foundation, concealer, powder, bronzer, and highlight and brows already done because none of those products are products that I have from the Wild Nothing collection. And I'm also currently filming a review of the Colourpop Cosmetics Pretty Fresh foundation and concealer, so that will be up after this video. If you're interested, keep an eye out for it. But that is the foundation and concealer that I'm wearing today. I will link all of the products that are on my face today in the description box down below like normal. Also, I always put like a little blog post in my description boxes, so make sure you check that out as well, because I put like updated thoughts and opinions and other little pieces in there. So check it out. Let's go ahead and do blush first and get that out of the way, and then we can get stuck into the eye products. When I got the collection, I got up at 3 a.m. in the morning to get it. That's how dedicated I was. I don't know what it was about this collection. It just drew me in, honestly, the packaging mainly. But I got up at 3 a.m. and when I was purchasing the collection, I had all of the individual items that I wanted in my cart, and I was actually then umming and ahhing whether or not to just get the whole like box collection, I guess that's what you want to call it. And while I was umming and ahhing about whether or not to get the full collection or just the pieces that I wanted, I ended up deciding on the pieces that I wanted because the collection was so expensive altogether and I didn't want everything. Long story short, by the time I actually went to my checkout to purchase everything, 2 of the blushes and 2 of the cream mattes had completely sold out. So originally I wanted 3 of the cream matte eyeshadows, or actually I think I had all 4, I think. And I wanted all of the blushes, and then they all kind of sold out. So I actually only ended up getting the Crossroads blush. So kind of a little bit disappointed. I definitely wanted all 3, but there's bigger things going on in the world. So I'm still happy I got one. Now I'm gonna drop my lights really low so that you can see this packaging, because otherwise you won't be able to get a good look of it, because my lights are super light. So this is the blush packaging, and it is absolutely stunning. The packaging of the like boxes that these products came in is so beautiful. It's like actual artwork. Like there's even raised parts on the packaging. It's so pretty. And then this is the actual compact of the blush that it comes in. Now I love this artwork on the front. I think it's so pretty. It's also a really nice sized compact. And then this is the color on the inside. So this is Crossroads right here, and you do get an actual mirror. I just haven't peeled the plastic off, but you do get a nice mirror in here as well. So it is a really nice sized blush. So the blush retails for $10 US, so it's probably about 18 Australian dollars, maybe about 17 Australian dollars. But for the size of it, it's pretty good. Like if you compare it to the size of my hand, it's quite large. So I'm not unhappy about that. And the actual gram, you get 3.75 grams of product, or 0.13 ounces of product. So quite a lot of product in there. This blush here is beautiful. Like I said, I've used it a couple of times already, and I do really like the tone of this blush. However, the reason why I was disappointed that I didn't get the other 2 blushes, and I didn't actually know it when I purchased this one, is this blush actually has quite a lot of shimmer in it. Now I'm not sure if you can actually tell how much shimmer is in this blush on camera just from looking at it up close, but when you actually go and put this on your face, you do get kind of like these flecks of gold glitter all over your cheeks, and I definitely got that the first time that I used it in my first impressions of this. But I will say that as I've kind of gone through and used this over a couple of days since then, it has kind of tamed down a little bit, so it's not as kind of glittery and shiny, but it's definitely a glittery, shimmery blush. So you need to be careful, and if you don't like that, like I don't personally love a shimmer blush, so I am a little bit disappointed. It's probably not for you. And I know the other 2 aren't as shimmery as this one. So just keep that in mind if it's something that you're looking at purchasing when they kind of restock the collection. I'm going to pick up my Linda Hallberg 310 brush because this is my all-time favorite blush brush, and I'm going to pick up some of the product on my brush, and then I'm going to tap off as much of the excess as I can because I want to tap off as much of that glitter as I can. And that's basically how I'm going to use this blush. And then I'm just going to kind of, actually let me zoom you guys in. Okay, so now you're all up in my business and can actually see what this will look like. So again, I'm picking the product up and tapping off as much excess as I can in hopes that I am tapping off the glitter. And they are very pigmented blushes, but I don't know if it's because I tap off so much excess or if it's just the actual formula itself, but I would say that they're like a beautiful buildable blush, not a holy crap, be careful, it's super pigmented, if that kind of makes sense. So yeah, I think that color is very pretty. And from tapping off the excess, you can see, I mean, I do have highlighter on, so you can, you know, kind of see that shine, but you can actually see that I do have some kind of fleck from the blush, but because I've tapped off so much of the excess, it's not too bad. Okay, so that is what the blush looks like on my cheeks, and I think it's a really, really pretty nude color. Let's go ahead and move on to my eyes. So the first thing that I'm gonna use is this cream eyeshadow that I purchased, and this is in the color Camouflage. So again, this is the absolutely beautiful outer packaging that this product came in. And then this is the actual packaging of the product itself. So it's kind of feels just kind of like a normal standard cream eyeshadow pot kind of thing. And then this is the actual matte shadow inside. So I think I got the second or the third lightest cream shadow that they had. I really wanted the light one, but it's sold out. But this one is really, really beautiful as well. Now the cream matte eyeshadows were $8 US. So again, I think it's probably about 13 or 14 Australian dollars, but I do think they're a really good buy. You get a lot of product in here. I'm not sure if they didn't really advertise kind of what really these like cream eyeshadows were for, whether they were like a cream matte eyeshadow, kind of like a Stila glitter and glow but matte version, or if they were an eye primer. It kind of said on their website that you could use them as both. So I have used this as an eye primer and I actually was pleasantly surprised. It worked really, really well. So that's what I'm going to do today, is I'm going to use this as an eye primer all over my lids, and then use the Wild Nothing eyeshadow palette on top of it. Before I go ahead and do that, let's take a look at the actual eyeshadow palette as well, and then we'll get started on creating a little look together. This is the actual packaging of the eyeshadow palette, like the outer part, and then you get the shade names of on the back, and then the actual carton like open from the top. So again, very, very, very beautiful. And then this is the actual eyeshadow palette itself. So it's exactly the same as kind of the unicarton that it comes in. It has the shade names on the back again as well. And then when you open it up, it has all of these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shades. So you don't get a mirror. So if that is something that's important to you, just keep that in mind. But I do really like that the packaging is cardboard, so it's definitely recyclable, which is awesome. So I personally think that this eyeshadow palette is absolutely divine. I think it is such a gorgeous every single day kind of eyeshadow palette. Now you do get a mix of formulas in here as well. This shade and this shade right here, hopefully you guys can kind of see them. I know my lights are a little bit bright, I'm sorry. But those two shades are like a suspended glitter shade, which if you watch my Imagination palette review, you know how much I'm obsessed with suspended glitters, and these do not disappoint in any way, shape or form. I actually wore this shade right here all over the lid with nothing else on it yesterday when I was working from home, and it looked so beautiful. My eye looked kind of wet and glossy. It was gorgeous. And then you get your two metallic shades here, which are really pretty. And this is a metallic-y kind of shimmer shade, but it looks stunning on the inner eye. And then you also get a matte shade that's also got some glitters in it. So kind of like that formula that Tati brought out in her Textured Neutral palette is exactly like that with the glitters in it. So that's also really pretty. And then you get your normal matte shades as well. So a really nice stunning variety of formulas in this palette, as well as just the color scheme in general. It's just a really, really beautiful everyday palette that you would be able to really dress up or dress down. So you could use this for any occasion. And I also think it would be really, really beautiful for weddings, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, the color scheme of this palette, I know some people are like, how boring, but I personally think this is really, really gorgeous, especially the formulas. The formulas are stunning. Also, I'm not sure if I said this or not, but the palette is $18 US, which is probably about 27 Australian dollars. Close to that. So about 30 Australian dollars, I would say, just under. Now I'm going to pick up that Camouflage Cream Matte Eyeshadow just on a flat shader brush. So this is just a synthetic flat shader brush, and I'm going to pack this onto my lid like an eyeshadow primer, but because it is that little bit darker, I'm not going to take it all the way up. I'm just going to kind of take it up to the crease, and that's about it. And also, my usual disclaimer, I am not a professional makeup artist. I'm just a girl who sits on the internet and plays with makeup, so please don't come for my skills. The thing that I kind of like about this is that it is really quite tacky, which is why I think it does make a good eye primer. Okay, so I think we're going to do a bit of a halo eye today, so we'll see how this goes. But the first shade that I'm going to pick up is this No Bounds dark brown color here, and I'm picking it up on an angled Delium Tools brush, and it looks like it has purple eyeshadow on it, but it doesn't, it's just stained. I'm just going to kind of pack that on the outer corner here in stamping motions. And then also just lightly on the inner corner. Then I'm just going to pick up a Sigma E25 brush, and I'm going to pick up the color Vagabond, which is just that perfect little transition color right there. And then I'm just going to kind of blend out the edges of this dark brown color a little bit. Then I'm just picking up a fluffy blending brush, and then I'm going to pick up the color Top Down, which is this kind of really pale orangey kind of color, and I'm going to pop that above where we put Vagabond. Then I'm just going to go and do what I did to this eye, and I'll be back. So now I'm going to go ahead and take Alcove here, and I'm just going to take that on my finger and put that in the middle of the eye. These shimmers are honestly so buttery and beautiful, and the camera does not do them justice in any way, I promise you. They're so stunning. Now I'm basically just going to pick up some more of that dark brown color here and just kind of lightly pat it in here just to kind of create a bit of a nice flow. Now I'm just going to pick up a little bit of Spirited, which is this like kind of that suspended glittery kind of shade. I'm just going to pick that up on a little brush and just kind of pat that in the center of where I put Alcove, just because I want a little bit more bling. I would say that this formula here for like this shimmer and this shimmer, it's almost like they've put their Super Shock shadow formula in an eyeshadow palette. That's kind of like how it feels. They're so pretty, and they're kind of like squishy in the pan, if that kind of makes any sense at all. But they are freaking stunning, honestly. I hope this shows on camera because they're so beautiful. So for the under eye, I'm going to take the Vagabond kind of transition color right here, just on a pencil brush. And I'm just going to stamp that underneath my eye. I don't like my under eyes to get too heavy with the shadow, because otherwise I have downturned eyes and it just kind of makes me look more downturned. On a smudger brush, I'm going to pick up the No Bounds color, which is just that dark brown, and I'm going to smudge that on the lower lash line as well, but just like halfway, not all the way. And then I'm also just going to put a little bit more of Alcove just on the lower kind of inner part of my eye, if that kind of makes sense. And I'm just going to use like a little flat shading brush for that. And then for inner corner highlight, I'm going to take Coastline, which is this shade right here, just on a Sigma E45 brush. And you can see how blinding that inner corner is. Like, that shade is very pretty, especially for the inner corner. That is pretty much it for the eyes. I'm just going to tightline my waterline up here with a black eyeliner and put some mascara on, and I will be right back. So this is the finished eyeshadow look. I think it's very, very pretty. I think it's kind of this gorgeous kind of smoky glam kind of halo eye. I will say that the formula of the eyeshadows in this palette is really, really stunning. It's that Colourpop formula that you know and love. I highly recommend this palette. I think it's a beautiful everyday palette that you can dress up and be glam with as well. And I honestly, I don't have a fault to say about this eyeshadow palette. I really don't. I think it is absolutely phenomenal and stunning. So should you get it? I don't know. Your money, your life. But I don't think you'll regret it if you do. So the last two products in this collection is the Luxe lip oils. Now this was a new formula for Colourpop. They haven't really come out, or at least that I haven't seen, they hadn't come out with lip oils before. Now these were $8 US each, so probably about 13, 14 Australian dollars each. And I got two shades. So I got the clear one, which is Dewdrop, and a kind of colored tinted one, which is Playa Vista. So these are both really, really pretty. Now I'm going to just keep my lips nice and nude, because this look is kind of that nude vibe anyway and a bit glamour. So I'm just going to put the Lip Heroes Nude For You lip liner on. And then what I'm going to do is just put Playa Vista over the top of that lip liner, just so that you guys can see what it looks like without any lipstick underneath. Obviously there is a nude lip liner, but I wouldn't just wear this lip oil with this look on its own. They are very pretty. They are very shiny. They look kind of just like your standard gloss. They don't feel sticky, so they're not sticky like a gloss in any way, shape or form. You kind of don't feel like your hair's going to get stuck in your lips or anything like that. So they're a nice formula when it comes to kind of that instant when you put it on. They look beautiful and shiny and they don't feel bad on your lips at all. However, I will say that these lip oils are not long wearing in any way. And I know that most glosses aren't long wearing, but these are even less than a normal gloss. They do come off your lips very, very quickly. Like I'm talking within 10 minutes, your lips will be bone dry completely, like just completely dry. And I don't find these to be nourishing for your lips in any way, shape or form. So this isn't my favorite product from them or from the collection, but these are nice. They're glossy. They're just not my favorite lip oil, if that kind of makes sense. That concludes my review of the Wild Nothing collection from Colourpop. Let's do a very quick product roundup. So the eyeshadow palette, love it, can't rate it enough. If you can afford it, pick it up. It's stunning. You seriously will not regret it. I love this eyeshadow palette. It's like one of my faves now, all time. I swear, I promise. I promise. The cream matte eyeshadow, I think this is really, really beautiful. I do really, really like it as an eye primer. I haven't worn it as a shadow on its own yet, and I'd be interested to see how it would wear, but I do really, really, really like this, especially as a base for eyeshadow, and I would repurchase it, and I would repurchase it in other colors for sure. The blush, I do personally really like the blush. I think it is a beautiful, beautiful formula. I don't personally love shimmer blushes, so if I could get this formula in a powder, like in a matte powder, hands down would be one of my favorite blushes, but I do think it's really pretty, and if you like shimmer blushes, you will absolutely love it because the formula is gorgeous. The lip oils are not my favorite in this collection and not my favorite product that Colourpop has come out with, but in saying that, I do have some lip oils in my collection that I just absolutely love to death, so they're up against some pretty stiff competition. Would I repurchase them? No, not at all, but I think, you know, for $8, if you want to give them a go, or it's like your first lip oil, you'll enjoy it. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any products from the Wild Nothing collection and what your thoughts are, or if you're thinking about picking up any of the pieces in, or eventually when they do restock the collection. I love hearing your thoughts, so let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I hope that you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye!